Should we start? Okay. Should we start, ma'am?
Yes.
I request all the participants to kindly switch off their microphones. It's my sincere request to kindly switch off your microphones. It would be good. The audio will be good if you switch off your microphones. I, Dr. Indu Upadhyay, Coordinator Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, welcome you all in the 2-day lecture series on new accreditation and assessment policy of NAAC. Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, whose mission is education as service, is dedicated towards education of women education, was established by Dr. Ellie Besant in 1956, and since then it has been serving towards the women education. I feel pleased to inform you that we have with us Professor Vasham Payan from IQAC BHU with us. I welcome you, sir, from core of my heart. We also have Professor Rachna Srivastav, Principal Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, who is the driving force behind this lecture series. I welcome you, ma'am, from core of my heart. Now, this is the time for formal welcome. I request Professor Rachna Srivastav, Principal Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, to formally welcome the guest. Professor Srivastav.
as Indu has made that kindly Indu, you can also.
I request
Today
Principal
there is
Ma'am
a
to
lot
kindly
of
welcome the guest.
problem.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah. हाँ, मुझे सुनाई दे रहा है. आई होप कि तुम लोग.
Hello, am I audible?
हाँ, आप सुनाई दे रहे हैं. मेरा बोलना सुनाई दे रहा है ना? I am here to welcome Professor Veshampan.
I have already announced, madam. Kindly welcome the guest.
हाँ, इंदू मैं वही करने जा रही हूँ. आज थोड़ी नेटवर्क की लग रहा है प्रॉब्लम है. We have to bear with it. तो सबसे पहले मैं वसंत कन्या महाविद्यालय और IQAC की ओर से प्रोफेसर वेशमपान को बहुत स्वागत करती हूँ. और आप वाइस चेयरमैन हैं IQAC सेल BHU के और एमरिटस प्रोफेसर हैं. आप डीन रहे हैं एग्रीकल्चर साइंस कॉलेज के. और हमारे लिए ये सौभाग्य की बात है कि आपके जैसा अनुभवी व्यक्ति, एक्सपीरियंस व्यक्ति हमारे बीच में है और हमें बताएगा कि कैसे हम अपनी क्वालिटी को इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं. Sir, earlier we had got our second cycle of accreditation done by NAAC in 2017, and we had got an A at that time. And after that, we have been relentlessly trying to improve ourselves. हमने बहुत सारे उपाय किए हैं. We have started new courses also, as it was given in its report by the peer committee. हमने 6 PG कोर्स शुरू करेंगे. हम ज्योग्राफी भी शुरू कर रहे हैं. हमने अपनी नई बिल्डिंग पर हमारा काम चल रहा है. And hopefully we will get it in 2 months. ये कोरोना की वजह से ये सब चीजें थोड़ी सी लेट हो गई. हमारे यहाँ स्टूडेंट्स हमारे लगातार गोल्ड मेडल ला रहे हैं. लाइक दिस टाइम आल्सो 8 स्टूडेंट्स गॉट BHU गोल्ड मेडल. तो ये सारी चीजें करने के बाद भी हमें ऐसा लगता है कि अभी भी गुंजाइश है जहां पर हम अपने आप को इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं. और बहुत सारी चीजें जो नई गाइडलाइंस में है NAAC की, उनके अनुसार हमें काम करने की जरूरत हो सकती है. और आप वो सही व्यक्ति है. यू आर द राइट पर्सन टू गाइड अस इन दिस. और मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि हम लोग बहुत कुछ आपसे सीख पाएंगे. एंड इनफैक्ट आई एम सिटिंग विद माय कॉपी एंड पेन एंड प्लानिंग टू राइट व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू टेल, सो दैट कुछ पॉइंट्स मैं नोट करूंगी जिससे हम उस पर काम कर सके और अपने आप को बेहतर कर सके. ये हमारी जो क्वेस्ट है अपने को बेहतर करने की, मुझे लगता है कि वो बहुत जरूरी है. चाहे NAAC हो चाहे ना हो, बट देयर शुड बी दिस एक इच्छा होनी चाहिए, एक जुनून होना चाहिए कि हम जो हैं उससे और आगे बढ़े, उससे बेहतर करें. वी कांट बी कंप्लेसेंट. तो इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं अपनी सारी जो हमारे कलीग्स भी आज यहाँ पर जमा हैं और अब इस माइक के सहारे, इस नेटवर्क के सहारे हम एक दूसरे से जुड़े हुए हैं. मैं आप सभी को का अभिवादन करते हुए और रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि वी शुड बी वेरी केयरफुल एंड वी शुड राइट इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट्स. और हम लोग बाद में आपस में ये समझें IQAC और NAAC के साथ मिलकर, जो हमारी अपनी कमिटीज हैं उनके साथ मिलकर, कि हमें कैसे काम करना है. Sir, I welcome you again on behalf of Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya. Over to Indu. इंदु, आगे कार्यक्रम बढ़ा सकते हो आप.
अनम्यूट कर लीजिए अपने को. मैं
The main objective of organizing this lecture series was to bring all the various institutions of higher education on a common platform to have an overview of the new accreditation and assessment policy of NAAC. It is also to deal with the problems that the higher education institutions are facing while preparing for annual quality assurance report and the self-study report. Especially for the institution like ours, which is solely dedicated towards education of humanities, we have with us Professor Vasham Payan to be the right person to guide us all to sort out the problems which we are facing towards NAAC. Professor Vasham Payan is the Emeritus Professor and Vice Chairman of IQAC BHU, former Director, Dean and Head, Institute of Agricultural Sciences BHU. He did his PhD as a Bark Fellow from Advanced Center of Botany BHU in 1979. After availing his postdoctoral assignments in not only India but also in abroad, he worked as a UGC scientist of grade A and B. After that, he joined BHU. He is an eminent teacher of microbial genetics, advanced genetics, and microbial engineering and technology. He has supervised more than 36 PhD and MSc students and collaborated various research projects with the institutions like ICAR, UGC, DBT, and DST. He has authored more than 182 original research papers which are being published in various international renowned peer-reviewed journals. We are privileged to have you with us, sir. Now, without wasting any time, I invite Professor Vasham Payan to deliver his views regarding this policy. Before I invite Professor Vasham Payan, I again sincerely request all the participants to kindly mute their microphones and feel free to write their queries in the chat box so that it could be accumulated and it could be answered by our learned speaker. Professor Vasham Payan.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I feel so happy to be here amidst you today at the web meeting organized by the Vasanta Women's College on new assessment and accreditation policy of NAAC. That's a subject of certainly paramount importance to keep us at par with the rapidly advancing world of knowledge jewels and knowledge hunt in the national scenario on the subject, its perspectives and strategies, overarching the goals of quality education for all on equitable basis with a higher spatial resolution. In this context, I feel that we ought to know about how to achieve excellence in different dimensions of higher education. The National Assessment and Accreditation Council of India looks for. I mean, a harmonious blend of our superior intellect as adorable academicians to raise competent human resources of national and global standard. As you know, the National Assessment and Accreditation Council of India was conceptualized by the UGC in 1994 towards striving hard in realizing the goals to take up the onus of creating quality consciousness and culture among teachers, students, and all other stakeholders, as well as developing strategies for assessment and redressal mechanism towards metamorphosis of NAAC as an institution par excellence for bringing quality assurance like ICT adoption, cutting-edge technology initiatives, continuous feedback and reforms, etc., raising NAAC's act to its next level of domain operation. Equality as the defining element of higher education in India through a combination of self and external quality evaluation, promotion, and sustenance initiatives. The mission is to arrange for periodical assessment and accreditation of institutions for higher education or units thereof, or specific academic programs or projects, to supplement the academic environment for promotion of quality in teaching, learning, and research in higher education institutions, to encourage self-evaluation, accountability, autonomy, and innovations in higher education, to undertake quality-related research studies wherever the facilities are, consultancy and training programs, and to collaborate with other stakeholders of higher education for quality evaluation, promotion, and sustenance. Well, the purpose behind all these efforts is towards contributing to national development, fostering global competencies among students, inculcating a value system among students, promoting the use of technology, and quest for excellence. As you know, higher education institutions with a record of at least 2 batches of students graduated, yours is old, or been in existence for 6 years, whichever is earlier, eligible to apply for the process of assessment and accreditation of NAAC, and fulfill the other conditions or are covered by the other provisions, if any. All universities, institutions deemed to be universities and their off-campuses approved by MHRD or UGC, these are eligible. If these institutions have regular students enrolled into the full-time teaching and research programs offered on campus, the duly established campuses within the country, if any, shall be treated as part of the universities, institutions of national importance for the assessment of accreditation like BHU. And at the same time, it includes the colleges like yours affiliated to a university, recognized by UGC for the purpose of affiliation. Constituent colleges or private and deemed to be universities are also considered as a constituent unit of the university, and thus won't be considered for an independent assessment and accreditation. It also includes such unaffiliated colleges or institutions if offering programs recognized by statutory professional, regulatory councils like AIU, Association of Indian Universities, or other such government agencies as equivalent to a degree program of a university. Now, the role of internal quality assurance cell is very, very vital, which is the backbone of an institution to maintain institutions' liaison with NAAC. In fact, IQAC is supposed to be the highest advisory body of an institution. The principal, dean, director, vice chancellor may be the administrative authorities, but IQAC should be as responsible to be the best advisory body for any institution so far as the quest of excellence is concerned. The primary aim of IQAC is to develop a system for conscious, consistent, and catalytic action to effectively improve academic administrative performances of the institution and promote standard measures of institutional functioning, coupled with visible excellence enhancement through expeditious internal flow of quality culture and prompting adoption of best practices. And people expect from IQAC, the students and teachers of the college or university, they expect ensuring timely, efficient, and progressive performance of academic, administrative, and financial tasks, relevant and quality academic or research programs, equitable access to and affordability of academic programs for various sections of society, optimization and integration of modern methods of teaching and learning, the credibility of assessment and evaluation process, ensuring the adequacy, maintenance, and proper allocation of support structure and services, sharing of research findings, and networking with other institutions in India and abroad. That's very important in the present scenario. Now, the strategic action of IQAC should be noted to be development and application of quality benchmarks and parameters for various academic and administrative activities of the institution. Creation of a learner-centric environment conducive to quality education and faculty maturation to adopt the required knowledge and technology for participatory teaching and learning processes. Collection and analysis of feedback from stakeholders on quality-related institutional processes. Dissemination of information on various quality parameters to all stakeholders. I mean, not only students, but also the guardians and actual users where research is concerned. Also the society, which generally says that the teachers are not working well. They should also be satisfied. Holding intra-institutional workshops, seminars on quality-related themes, promotion of quality circles, documentation of the various programs and activities leading to quality improvement, acting as a nodal agency of the institution for coordinating quality-related activities, including adoption and dissemination of best practices. Development and maintenance of institutional database through MIS for the purpose of maintaining, enhancing institutional quality. Periodical conduct of academic administrative audit and its follow-up. Preparation and submission of the annual quality assurance report, that IQAR, as per guidelines and parameters of NAAC. And the key contributions of IQAC, if I want to summarize, this is to ensure, clarify and focus institutional functioning towards quality enhancement, to ensure internalization of quality culture, to ensure enhancement and coordination among various activities of the institution, and institutionalize all good practices. I mean, the best practices. Every year we filter out what is good today. Provide a sound basis for decision-making to improve institutional functioning. Act as a dynamic system for quality change in higher education institutions. Build and organize methodology of documentation and internal combination. The thing which is supposed to be good this year, maybe the other you find something much, much better. So that will be good at that point of time. Now, as you know, the composition of IQAC, which I hope you must be following, the chairperson is the head of the institution, teachers represent at all levels, 3 to 8, one member from the management, few senior administrative officers, one nominee each from local societies, students and alumni, one nominee each from employer, industrialists, stakeholders, one of the senior teacher as the coordinator or director of the IQAC. And the tenure, as you all know, it may be 2 years, or maybe relaxed, or if someone retires, maybe nominated the next person. Now, the role of IQAC coordinator is very vital. The coordinator's role is crucial in ensuring the effective functioning of all the members. The coordinator may be a senior, competent person with experience and exposure in quality aspects. He or she may be a full-time functionary, or at least a senior academician or administrator, and who may be entrusted with the IQAC as an additional responsibility, provided with needful secretarial assistance by the administration. It's essential that the coordinator may have sound knowledge about the computer, data management, and its various functions, such as uses for effective communication, able to shoulder the responsibilities with the members towards generating and promoting awareness in the institution, and to devote time for working out the procedural details. Even if assistants are working on the computer, he or she, the coordinator, should be in a position to check out everything in the computer. So the person should be well versed with the computer technology. The IQAC will have to first establish procedures and modalities to collect data and information on various aspects of institutional functions towards the ongoing efforts to define the objectives of an institution. These are all going to be digitized in these years under the new regulation. There has to be a work plan to achieve them, and to specify the checks and balances to evaluate the degree to which each of the task is fulfilled. Devotion and commitment to improvement rather than mere institutional control is the basis for devising procedures and instruments for assuring quality. The right balance between the health and growth of an institution needs to be touched. The IQAC has to ensure that whatever is done in the institution for education is done efficiently and effectively with high standards. No one has to compromise this standard. As per revised accreditation framework, effective from July 2017, updated regularly to 2020, the NAAC accredited institutions need to submit the AQAR online. Data compiled infuses quality enhancement measures undertaken during the years, connected to all qualitative aspects of higher education and research. NAAC is in the process of ICT integration fully well in assessment and accreditation. The login ID for the online submission for AQAR submission will be the email ID for the institution who may be in use of this information on quality assessment. NAAC portal will have the facility to submit the AQAR online as a part of the post-accreditation modules in due course of time, and institutions will receive automated responses. All accredited higher education institutions have to submit AQAR regularly to NAAC. On completion of the academic year, higher education institutions have to submit AQAR on or before 31st of December every year, irrespective of their date of accreditation. After submission of AQAR, it will be verified by NAAC, and clarification may be asked regarding the data or information provided in the AQAR. 15 days may be provided for clarification needed to explain the reason for zero or nil data for any of the metrics in the response box, and it has to be resubmitted to AQAR. Please meticulously and faithfully fill up the entries, and no column should be left blank, including feedback from stakeholders. It is very important. People generally leave it. Information, publication, citation, and especially IQAC meeting details. It should be properly recorded and mentioned in every report. In case of difficulty in understanding the filling in method, if any, the coordinator of nearest university IQAC, for example, BHU, may be contacted. I can facilitate it. In case of any citation or citation index-related confusions, Information Library Network Center, InfoNet, the librarian of nearest university, for example, BHU, may be contacted where I may be helpful to all of you. The responsibility of the facts documented will rest with the institution filling up the AQAR and SSR, whether it is Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya or Arya Kanya Mahavidyalaya. Now, H-index citations. Many of you may have confusions. In a simple way you can understand, I was recently there at UGC in a meeting where people from NAAC were also there and care journals with people were there. H-index of a teacher, if one has suppose 10 papers cited in a particular year, the minimum number of citations just above 5, means 50%, can be treated as H-index of a teacher, provided the number of citations for a paper is not less than 5, else it will be treated as 0. So NAAC people are very, very strict in this. Similarly, H-index of a department or a college, same way it can be calculated using the average of each teacher of a university department or college or faculty or the university as a whole. Now, institutions which would like to make an improvement in the accredited status may apply for reassessment after a minimum of 1 year and before 3 years of accreditation, subject to the fulfillment of other conditions as specified by a NAAC from time to time for the purpose. Institutions opting for subsequent cycles, cycle 2, cycle 3, cycle 4 of accreditation, can submit the institutional information for quality assessment during the last 6 months of validity period, subject to the fulfillment of other conditions specified by NAAC from time to time for the purpose. Now, as you know, letter grades are now converted to numerical grade points, overall score in cumulative grade point average, and qualitative measurements converted to grade points. There is now wider scope for normalizing the scores so that the extreme bias, if any, could be minimized. A 1-point difference between two letter grades with 50 or 100 points assigned between two successive letter grades results in appreciable fine-tuning of the process. Relative evaluation would be more exact thus, with reduction in variation and standard deviations, and accordingly, inter-peer team judgment would be more and more accurate. And as you know, if you get 3.5124, it will be A double plus accreditation, 3.26 to 3.5, A plus accreditation, 3.01 to 3.2, simple A, 2.76 to 3.0, B double plus, 2.51 to 2.75, B plus, 2.01 to 2.5, simple B, 1.51 to 2, C. These are all accredited. But if one gets less than 1.5, it won't be accredited at that point of time. Now, the key issue is how to be de facto excellent enough, which your principal said, to impress upon the reviewing team of NAAC, rather than finding ways only how to simply complete the formalities of filling up the AQAR and SSR forms. These are not so important. One can improve, but one has to have a real excellence. Your IQAC coordinator must be competent and well-versed to get the forms filled up in his or her direction in liaison with nearest university IQAC, using the facts with you. I may answer a few of your queries regarding filling up forms, yet I would like you to be apprised of the ways to excel in academics. Academic excellence is the demonstrated ability to perform, achieve, and excel in scholastic activities. It's the maximum development of your intellectual capacities and skills in service to humanity. Achieving academic excellence is a process of both formal and informal education. Indeed, education is a limitless and unending process to be enjoyed for a lifetime. One has to develop self-confidence, persistence, and leadership abilities, along with an attitude of social responsibility and an understanding of cultural and intellectual differences. One has to attend lectures, meaningful concerts, art exhibits, theatrical performances, seminars, and other cultural activities whenever and wherever possible. One has to try for genuinely being nominated for a leadership role as a chairperson, member, or an officer to develop qualities for success in future career endeavor, and seek devotional opportunities to work with professors on special projects in a research or teaching area of interest. To attain this, one has to differentiate between self-respect and ego and try to avoid the latter. One has to sincerely exert on a position to be of de facto service to those with whom you interact. One needs repeated conceptual studies through standard textbooks, e-books, base and reference books by established authors, analysis of every chapter based on different books or e-books on the same subject is also essential. A regular addition to the knowledge you have through assimilating related research papers, review articles, and newer books. Refraining from old notes and casual fragmentary notes from internet. That's very damaging. And one has to mind that periodically we find changes in educational policies. Also we find from time to time changes in our courses, rules, regulation, and disciplines, terms and conditions, ordinances, acts, and statutes. But ultimately coming to us, it's actually we who have to responsibly implement these in a manner so that progress of the institution is always inclined in its exponential phase of growth. I mean the quality growth, with the spontaneity and homogeneity to pick up all excellent components from every corner of the nation and the world at large on everyday basis. The absorbed fragrance and imbibed elixir of which has to emerge with one's own gem-treasured key component. In our sincere, honest, conscientious, consistent and persistent efforts to emerge, to sustain, and to recurrently prosper and flourish like a world-class university or college, to visibly glow in the horizon all through, beautifully representing its crimson color, an ideal blend of the strength of knowledge and softness of heart, screaming out a tremendous and spectacular impact over our enormous talent in assembly. I mean our students, admitted every year as the new seedlings transplanted to the garden of a college or university, to blossom with the passage of time as the best fragrant flowers of the world, capable of disseminating their prudent aroma of excellence across all geographical boundaries, sharpened as our competent human resources of high moral and intellect, whom we produce by our heart and soul, as a nicely finished asset of high get-up for the society, nation, and the world at large, to render commendable services to science and community, art and creativity, mankind and humanity, the grassroots level society, and the predominant knowledge-based national economy at large, where all of us have been contributing in one way or the other. But certainly, it needs to be further systematized the ethos of higher education, commensurate with our brighter intellectual inputs and sharpened talents. For example, it often makes me sad to see how there has been an apparent, unfortunate gradual decline in the values of library sitting and reading in university and colleges, reflecting a kind of declining work culture in both teachers and students. Of course, libraries may be partially substituted by digitized libraries, but not at all by old notes or need-based net surfing, cut and paste, as the latter may not help widening the horizon of an academician and his or her knowledge years. Similarly, joining a research career should not only be targeted to acquire an MPhil, PG, or PhD degree, but with the objectivity to contribute something original and meaningful to solve a real need of the area and society, as well as the nation and world at large, following standard procedures, taking care of its key significance and reproducibility. If someone else repeats the same research, he finds the same, or she finds the same, so that the researcher explodes like a volcano of excellence across all geographical locations. And these are the things which NAAC observes for. And you know, no one is born intelligent. Intelligence is nothing more than the horsepower of an automobile, may be connected with a very strong battery, representing one's aptitude. But unless and until one has fuel input as your hard labor, your automobile cannot move even by an inch on anyone's career graph, howsoever intelligent or ambitious one may be. Means your strong and promising determination, blended with hard labor in a right direction, may stimulate all your intellect genes provided by one's parents to code for more than excellence in academics while maintaining an ideal human property. And this is what every teacher has to impress upon the student, because the student today, which we see, is going to be a teacher, most of them, tomorrow. They're the highest position. And you know, there's no shortcut towards building up a distinguished academic and or research career in science, linguistics, humanities, commerce, law, management, or any other professional courses. Students joining through All India Entrance Tests are intelligent enough to conceive and perceive the depth of a teacher. Never start a lecture without revising and updating your preparations to be informative enough. Never publish your thesis through money game with an ordinary publisher. These are all picked up by NAAC. Never publish your research paper or review article in a dubious, subvalued, and predatory journals using money game. I know MHRD and UGC, they have approved e-teaching and e-learning system that has to be at least now seriously encouraged in corona pandemic. In the age of information and communication technology, its adoption and cutting-edge technology initiatives, continuous feedback and responses, it's the high time to seriously make use of all 10 approved modes of e-teaching and learning by the educational institutions, like SWAYAM online courses, UGPG MOOCs courses developed by SWAYAM, EPG Pathshala with 23,000 of modules available, e-courses with UG subjects. We have 24,000 modules on record. SWAYAM Prabha with 32 DTH channels. It's important to mention that the first ever digital library of India was established at BHU in 2012 based on the plans I submitted after my visit to all digital science libraries of USA. And this is now made free to access by all, including Web of Science, Information Library Network Center, which we know by InfluNet, Consortium for Educational Communication, and digital repository of a vast amount of academic content in different formats. And thus UGC created CEC UGC YouTube channels, National Digital Library, which is free for everyone in pandemic. Shodhganga with 260,000 Indian electronic PhD thesis. eShodh Sindhu with 15,000 core and peer-reviewed journals. Vidwan carrying latest information about experts in all subjects who might be helpful in revising and catalyzing excellence in academics and research. There are others also in pipeline. I was recently at UGC in a meeting, and these are to be approved. Now, with the advent of internet, the entire world is moving global classroom. Using mobile phones or computers or chatting on social networking sites, the advancements in technology and the plethora of powerful and innovative digital devices and the tools also have great potential to improve educational outcomes, enhancing educational opportunities to benefit the millennium. Courses on e-content development thus aim at providing the knowledge and skills for teachers to cater to the present-day learners and their learning styles. In this area of corona pandemic, I must say, the serious students and teachers have been worried about the future, as also their future plans with every passing day. Mentorship will be even more critical during a time of turbulence, uncertainty, and emotional distress. But it is the duty of the teacher and team leaders in research to help flattening of a rising mental health crisis among the students. We have to ask our students that apart from attending online classes and webinars, work and walk indoor that can also help with mental wellness. It's a duty of a teacher and team leaders in research to inculcate in the younger teachers and students the time-tested truth that if we find ways to continue our progress during times of adversity, we shall prove to be much better responsible citizens to take part in national build-up and rebuild up afterwards. But for all these, taking apart from the e-teaching due to pandemic, one has to periodically self-retrospect oneself to extract out our own latent scholarly potential to be converted into the kinetic energy with our computer information communication technology friendly approach to help us reaching a pyramidal height. And who knows that someone from the present listeners turn to be tomorrow's Bharat Ratna Abdul Kalam, whose transparent history unfolds how he had prolific dialogues and interactions on smaller and smallest issues to yield bigger and biggest advancements. So what I want to impress upon is the value of interaction. I mean the constructive interaction between teacher and teacher, student and student, teacher and student, teacher and academic administrator, student direct with the academic administrator, whether he may be principal, dean, director, head, whatsoever may be. Now, if you follow these ethical rules, voluntary caring for these ethical rules in academic research, with strong determinants by each teacher, scientist, student, and academic administrator of a university, institute, or governance, it possibly is the only means to launch the door of scholastic paradise opening on this earth in compliance to the role of a university or research institute as the temple of real learning. Now, UGC has nationally established a consortium of academic and research ethics care with offices like for Northern Zone of India, established at JNU, New Delhi, you must be knowing about it, which updates every 3 months the list of approved standard journals, each subject in material science, life science, technology, arts, humanities, and religion studies, performing and visual arts, agriculture, medicine, pharmacy, and environmental sciences, and technology available on UGC Care Journal website. For using a journal outside the UGC Care list, irrespective of its quoted high impact factor or ISSN, UGC Care Office has to inform through the internal quality assurance cell of the concerned university on UGC Care web format. The dean, based on faculty IQSE, PPC recommendation, may certify to the university level IQSE that the particular journal is not dubious, not subvalued or predatory, and that its quality deserves inclusion in the UGC Care list of journals. Otherwise, many new journals obtain ISSN and impact factor by undesirable means. In the cover page of any local journal, you will find the impact factor, ISSN, etc. But these are not recognized by UGC. Using and recommending such journals to UGC may have a negative impact over the standard of the concerned teacher, head, dean, principal, and the university as a whole, because all such recommendations are critically evaluated by UGC Care experts on all India basis. And one has to be beware of publishing papers in such journals, as well as one has to beware of presenting papers here and there, because there are instances of many so-called national and international conferences, seminars, symposia arranged from only business point of view, not linked with any authorized academic society, university, institute, or college, to collect huge registration charges and accept any paper to be published in proceedings, and to pressurize national agencies to provide grant in need by showing huge list of registered delegates. The academicians and scientists have to refrain from editing, presenting, convening, or chairing in the mushroom-growing, dubious, subvalued, and predatory conferences, or to be editors of such journals. Now I'm coming to the main point, the interactive approach, which is going to yield you the sky will be the limit of excellence. Even an academic administrator happens to be an academician and teacher in his or her career, just like a teacher happens to be a student for one's entire lifetime. And thus it's imperative to jointly adhere to the profound philosophy of Sarvapalli Dr. Radhakrishnan towards maintaining a gracious and precious intellectual relationship among the teachers, among the students, among the academic administrators, and in between band of civilized society to launch such progressive web meets with long-term impact in education. Every teacher has to be in touch, in close interaction with UG PG students, PhD PDF students, as also with his or her academic administrator, if one is the principal or dean or head as academic administrator or whatsoever. And the academic administrator has also to take care to be in direct contact with UG, PG students, PhD, PDF students, and teachers of all branches, not only to the heads of the departments, so that the problem should come on the surface and it has to be neutralized, and interaction will give a mutual gain to everyone. And for quality research, the senior faculty members as well as the academic administrators, whether he or she is an experienced teacher, head, dean, director, have to cordially help and encourage our younger colleagues to get newer research projects and to honestly execute the same for a quality output in order to strengthen our infrastructure on one hand, while duly elevating your inbuilt intellectual property on the other. That's much more important. To give a recurrently growing name of your laboratory, your college, your faculty, institution on the national world map. And the role of academic administrators for assisting various statutory committees are there, like Teachers' Council, Departmental Council, Departmental Research Council, Purchase Committee, Promotion Committee, Board of Studies, Faculty Council, etc., etc. All academicians, scientists, who have to be honest in their advice and devoted in it. Instead of signing a well-planned out of fear to the chair or to favor a particular person, or simply कि आप कर लीजिए मैं sign कर दूंगा. So these things are not appreciable, never appreciable. Your own input won't be figured, only your signature will be figured. So one has to take care. It's a collective responsibility, not only of IQSA coordinator, but the whole system inside the institution has to be responsible to give the input. Even if one has no input, if he or she sits in the meeting, he or she the way we will improve. Now there are three dimensions of reforms and strengthening our quality culture. The quality assurance system, which is already there to improve standards of education, academic paper system for each profession has to be sorted out as a past profession, research, extension. Then accreditation system, the requirements have to be met. Competency examination system, it should be foolproof. This is also very, very important. Like the other day, you may come for NIRF ranking also. For this, you have to have interprofessional collaboration. You may collaborate with bigger universities and colleges, partnership among professions, education service, also partnership with the society. Social service can be, the NGOs can be combined with your activity if yours is only humanities. Then industries also can help you in very many ways. It will both be beneficial traffic. And all this matter in NAAC or NIRF assessment. The purpose is to generate competent human resources who are able to join teaching and or research profession in central or state universities, colleges, research institutes. The one who should compete as responsible officials through UPSC, state public service commissions, or placed in MNCs and other public or private sectors, or move abroad for PDF with coveted fellowship for higher studies, or even he or she should be capable enough to join wide horizon of skillful self-employment. And all these have to be recorded at IQSC for best efforts on effective exposure towards addressing to all issues at NAAC or NIRF or world ranking on behalf of an institution. The authentically compiled, digitized online information is needed to be discreetly conveyed to IQSC by each teacher and each in charge with responsible daily updates, or if not daily, maybe 2 days, 3 days, or at least weekly. It is employable on all departments of a college, all auxiliary units, academic section, finance section, development section, the key administration, examination, your university or college library, your training and placement cell must be there. Some career counseling cell must be there in a college also. This is in order to facilitate an instant access and utilization of information at fingertips the moment it is required. When NAAC has digitized, we have to do it. The BHO is in the process of doing this. To avoid all chances of mismatch of information obtained from actual workplace and the concerned pyramidal key office. So IQSC has a great role to be performed, to coordinate with the departments, to coordinate with the administration, everything. Also the academic section, various other section, audit accounts, sports board, student welfare scheme, proctoral board, hostel if any, health services, your computer center, etc., as also alumni, very important. So everything has to be coordinated by the coordinator, IQSC, but coordinator cannot succumb singly. He or she has to take help by the members of the IQSC. So IQSC has a key role, and other administrative officers and the teachers, not necessarily those who figure as members, even others who know that I can contribute, I have some information, authentic information, should voluntarily help the coordinator by passing the authentic information. So if you see in nutshell, the transformation into a center of excellence, whether it's a college or university, depends on largely on devoted, informative, and innovative teachers. Teaching aids and research grants may be limiting factors, but the greater limiting factor is following the ethos of higher education and research toward the fruitful utilization of these grants by each teacher and each unit who is going to utilize it. Our products, the human resources, have to be molded to be national and global assets. And if we are able to reach this in closest proximity, NAAC or even NARF will be nothing very serious. So I think with this, I end here. And if you have questions, I will like to answer.
Sir, I congratulate you for this mind-provoking lecture. Sir, you gave an overview of the whole new accreditation and assessment policy of NAAC, along with the functions and responsibilities that is to be given to IQSC and the role that is to be played by IQSC. Sir, you very rightly said that there is a need to have a real excellence rather than to be able to fill SSRs and AQARs. Sir, we have some queries. So in order to deal with the question answers, I invite Professor Dr. Naranjana Srivastav for the question answer session. Dr. Naranjana.
Yes, thank you, Indubi. And thanks a lot for such an insightful, enlightening, and igniting presentation or address. Am I audible, Indubi?
Yes, please.
Yes, you're audible. Audible.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. So there are two questions. I'll pick the first one from Dr. Swati Mishra. She says that is it necessary for colleges to fill all the criteria or columns which are given in the format?
You are not audible. Kindly put your mic away from your mouth.
Okay,
very close.
Yeah. Fine. So now am I audible, sir?
Yeah, please speak.
Yeah. So Dr. Swati Mishra wants to ask, is it important, is it necessary for colleges to fill all the criterions or the columns which are given in the format.
Yes, that's why NAAC has already separated everything for universities and colleges. Once it is separated, means whatever listed in the list of colleges, the criteria that has to be filled up. You cannot leave any column blank. You have to answer something.
Fine, sir.
That's a prerequisite.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be sent back for replying in 15 days.
Right, sir. Okay, thank you. Her next question is, there are differences between the working nature of colleges in North India and South India and the places in between the two. But the format of NAAC is same for every place or everywhere. How is it possible to work and give result in all the criteria?
See, whatever criteria you can fulfill, you are out to fulfill, you answer, and in rest, you write, it is not operative at our place. Don't leave it. You have to write something. So they will accordingly pass the marks. They will give marks on it. But if you feel that that criteria fits well to your place, but due to slackness or some other reason, you have not fulfilled it, then you will have to give some answer, because they will visit also your place and they can have query with you that no, it's not possible only in South India, it was possible here also. Why didn't you do it? So you should be very confident before answering that it is not applicable to me. It's applicable only to College of South. We should be quite sure.
Right.
Otherwise, you will have to give some answer.
Right. So another question is that citation index is generally not applicable to many subjects of humanities and arts. How to justify assessment in that criteria?
No, I don't agree to you that citations are not applicable in humanities. Have you seen the citation of Amartya Sen? Amartya Sen citation, have you seen? Thousands every year. So maybe we should have 30 every year. If not thousands, 30, 10, minimum 5. Even if you show 5, that will serve your purpose. You can't say that humanities there is no citation. In which world do you live? I don't know. There are several grades of journals in humanities. Rich papers are there. It means you have not published your paper in some such journal. So try to publish your work, at least now onwards, in UGC care-listed journals. We have people in sociology, history, economics, political science, publishing good journals, care-listed journals. They have citations every year. May not be comparable to people in science. If science, they have 10 citations, they will have 5 citations. But citations are there. You will have to search it out. You sit with the librarian of Central Library. D.K. Singh is there. I can tell him a word. He will be helpful to all of you. Maybe that you have don't know about your own citation. Maybe you are not able to search it out. So please sit with a bigger library. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Should I ask you another question, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, it's about jobs placement or funds generation. Have their limitation regarding UG, PG colleges, institutions, how to meet the challenge when job placements are not or the fund generation through alumni committee or things like those.
Okay,
it's
okay,
difficult
I understand. No, so far as fund generation is concerned, it is not very much expected from a college that funds will be generated. You can simply, if you have some special courses, self-financing courses that you can write, that funds have come through this process, or if you have some alumni donation, you must be having good alumni placed at good places. It's such an old college. So you will have to find it out, whether through Facebook or through other means. you circulate on your website that any alumni anywhere may please contact. So even if you get 1,000 rupees from an alumnus in the name of the college, of the alma mater, that you can show. This is only not only to judge the amount you raise. This is only to judge whether you are in touch with your alumni, whether you are that serious that the human resources we generated has a connection with your college. Means he or she will remember the alma mater only if the girl who read here has a respect for this college. And that respect comes only through good teaching she must have received. It means this is in order to indirectly encourage you or press you that be good, so that the students passing out remember you wherever they are at any point of time. And if you donate ₹5, that would come to your college as something to be shown to NAAC कि अपने श्रद्धा से उसने दिया है.
Sir,
भावनाओं को encourage करने के लिए point.
Sir,
And so far as placement is concerned, yes, please.
Sir, I would like to inform that we have very good alumni, like Professor Chandrakala Padia was a student, Professor Sushila Singh was a student of VKM. Then so many others are there. And we had e-alumni meet a few days back, and many students from even outside India connected with us. So we have very good alumni and we are connected to them. Yet we are not, because we don't ask them that they should like donate. We don't ask for funds. Although there is some registration charges, which is one time, like 25 rupees are there, and they get registered for life. So we raised like 1100 rupees we had got last year, and that is the only thing that we got from alumni. Because
that's
we
good.
Don't ask.
Yeah,
Sir?
that's a positive point. At least you can document the name of your alumni. They are
Yes.
on good position, they have been on good. You can document and show that they pay only just an indicative registration charges. This is our fund. We are a small college, but our products are very highly placed. So this is the way you orient your language is much more important. It's not in terms of money.
So VKM has a very long list of very good alumni, like Vidushi Savita Devi, our present manager, Professor Mrs. Uma Bhattacharya. She was a civil servant. So many are there, but only thing is we don't ask for donations because we don't require them as such.
Right.
We get funds
You
from
can yes, you can write in the column, their support is through advice. That is invaluable. Okay,
Yes,
if
sir.
you write this way, it will exert such a good impact on NAAC assessment team member that it will be incomparable. But at least you document the names of such alumni. Okay. Then coming to placement, whatever placement, if you have a placement cell, training a placement cell, it's well and good. Otherwise, you try to be serious to know about your students. If they compete to some services, join some college or school as a teacher, or so you will have to be vigilant enough. So that you can yourself write that our products, this year product is here, here, here. The previous year product is here, here, here. That will serve the purpose. The only thing is the NAAC wants to say whether you are serious on this point or not. Okay. Every institution don't have the facility of training placement cell full fledged.
Right, sir. In fact, we have a placement cell, but as our college is mostly UG and PG, and that we have only social science subjects. In home science and psychology, we have some placements. But otherwise, we are connected with BHU placement cell, and they inform us whenever there is a placement drive, and our students go there. And a few of them get selected also. And otherwise, we keep in touch with our students, and we try to ascertain whether they have been placed or they are pursuing higher studies, things like that. But now I saw that NAAC wants real data. Like many of our students qualify for SLAT or NET, and they tell us, and we write against their name. But NAAC now wants their roll number and their registration number, things like that. For that,
Yeah.
I think I will have
Right.
to designate someone to do these things.
No, you simply at the time of issuing the transfer certificate or migration certificate or whatever you say, at that point of time, you take the email ID and mobile number of each of the product, and with the assurance that whatever they achieve in their life, if they compete in net slate get, they will inform on this ID. So take a promise from them. Okay, so that is one way, which we also started at BHU. Now it is flourishing. And then from your side also, if you have the email ID of the student, then from time to time, some message will be going that you update your present position. And if one says that I have been selected for slate gate, you ask immediately for roll number and year and everything, that tail will come. So one will have to exert in this line. Some responsible teacher may be assigned with this institute. That can
Yes,
be done
sir.
in a year or two, it will be achieved.
In fact, sir, we have very limited human resource. In fact, in some departments, there are only 2 or 3 people. And from next year, we will be having both PG classes and UG classes. So I think I will have to depute someone only for this purpose, that they keep in touch with our alumni and keep, like someone from office can be designated for that. And we get email and telephone numbers of students, but I know mobile numbers get changed. But email is more permanent. So
More
we
permanent,
get it
yeah.
from them. But what happens that once we are in the process of teaching and so many things, we forget about it. So I believe that I will have to
No,
designate
no,
someone.
the better way is that whosoever is designated for this purpose, you fix a date that on every Saturday 2 to 5, this will be your work. For rest of days, you do your teaching and research work. You fix an hour and a day. So you may also keep a watch for 5 minutes. You can sit with them, then so that work is going smoothly. And if he feels or she feels any problem, he will contact you. But you fix a day and an hour. Every day, this work is not needed. So every week, if you come out with 2-3 hours in this direction, it will be enriched with a lot of data. So NAAC requires a lot of documentation only.
Yes.
To serve your purpose. And NAAC also knows that this is the beginning process of digitized information. So there may be some lapses. Don't worry for that. Not at all. You see the ranking, I said, when you get less than 150 only, then you will be not accredited. Otherwise, all are accredited. So don't worry about little ups and downs. But try to develop the system gradually. Suppose from zero, but you are not a zero. We have achieved many things. Once
Yes, sir.
you have already been accredited. You have good list of alumni. Only thing is that you have to systematically document it and devise a system for regular documentation of on every front, whether it is citation, whether it is also the feedback of stakeholders, that has also to be taken care of. The meeting records of IQSA, that has to be taken care of. You must be very serious, at least from this point of time. Every quarterly, you hold a meeting, see that all members attended, they have their inputs, at least the record register is maintained. Okay?
Yes, sir. We maintain.
Yeah. If you are careful, I don't think the form is very difficult. And don't worry if some scholars are not able to provide at this point of time. NAAC knows that in the coming years, you will be able to provide. But NAAC wants to see only you are making efforts in the direction or not. That assessment is made. That they pick up by talking to people. So,
Right, sir.
Your teachers, you have a good group, they have to be a bit more serious about it.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
So regarding documentation, there is a curiosity, say, hello?
Yeah, please.
So that not every activity can be documented in detail or in words. For example, when we mentor our students, during those mentoring sessions, we cannot record each and every problem of theirs. We have to maintain the secrecy. So in those cases, how documentation should be done?
Right. So in that case, you can simply, like a proceeding of a meeting, you can note 3 students related to this. Just give a brief hint related to this problem. We consult and we solve the problem. The student was convinced, and she is okay now. So that will serve. Not elaborate the whole problem. Unless something is exemplary, something novel, which can open the eyes of whole India, the rest of the things you can just make indicative language. That will serve the purpose.
Sir. Okay.
But there should be a record that it happened. You did it in every week or every month. You did it. You solved 2 cases, 3 cases, like.
Okay. And so people seek your observations or views regarding that. What do you think, or how do you view it by the government? Government has reduced the subject. What are your comments on that? And another is.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes, sir. Your views on the reluctance shown by self-financed colleges in having accreditation cycle by NAAC.
Reduction in self-financed colleges. Reluctance.
Shown by the self-finance reluctance.
Yeah.
That
Means,
they don't want to hold NAAC accreditation.
Right. The purpose of accreditation is the very subject in the base. The purpose of accreditation is to be recognized by UGC for getting grant. And such institutions which have very high fee, self-finance, they do not need any support. They are not very honest in maintaining records. They may be charging exorbitant high fees. They may be paying less to their teachers, while the teachers may be receiving a very, on document, they will be receiving very high salary. So this way, they are not very fair. So they cannot fill up the accreditation form properly. And they do not need it because they do not need money. They charge very high from the students. So that's why they are reluctant. So it can be through counseling that their mental setup should be improved. And regarding your fund, research budget, well, when I sit to UGC, ICR or CSIR, these research granting bodies meeting, I find that sometimes there are funds, but we do not have good projects to be sanctioned, to be accepted. So if you have a good project in mind, then you should be 100% sure, rather 200% sure that the fund will be sanctioned to you, whatsoever cut the government may make. Government makes a cut because we do not find good projects. We find only some of the projects which are original, good, something going to contribute to the society, to address to the real need of the society, real problem of the society. Otherwise, nearly 80 to 90% proposals which are received at UGC or any other fancy bodies are repetition of the same work. If someone has work on one insecticide, on some fruit, someone else will work on some other insecticide on the same fruit. The purpose should be something novel. Means how without the use of insecticide you can protect your food. if there is some proposal like this, like we had last time, a proposal that one change the gene of the fruit so much so that it itself produce insect repellent. So there was no need of insecticide. So such projects are sanctioned. Also work cut in the grant is there. So try to be original in framing some good project. The grant has no effect. You can write the answer. Yes. If you have original projects, we don't care for the reduction in grant.
Sir, I
Yes,
would
sure.
like to inform you that under Impress scheme from ICSSR,
Yeah,
3 of our projects were sanctioned.
that's very
In fact,
nice.
5 people applied and 3 were sanctioned. So they are still going on. And this was under Impress scheme by ICSSR.
That's very nice. I need to congratulate you. So you should encourage such persons. And if even one person gets such schemes, such projects, others will get impressed. So try to create an environment of cordiality so that people take it as an example, not a kind of envious that why and how she could get, I couldn't get. They will start criticizing. Don't listen to any criticism. Just encourage the good workers.
Sir,
And
in
that
fact,
way,
I was
1
the
to
first
10.
to get it.
Yeah,
I
please.
was the first one to get it in political science. Then 2 of our other teachers got the project sanctioned. 5
That's
of them
very
had
good.
applied.
So being in a college, if you get such projects, that's really wonderful. But just try to see that it's consistent, it's maintained. Your other followers also are able to get it. Try to help your juniors to formulate, to give ideas how to get a new project and how to implement the projects, to execute the project, so that getting the project is not so important as the execution of the project, so that you build up your intellectual property. As also with the grants, you can enrich your infrastructure, your libraries, etc. So that is much more important.
Thanks a lot, sir, for satisfying so wonderfully all the queries and questions. I end up here. Over to Dr. Indru Upadhyay.
Now, we are moving towards the end of the program. I invite Dr. Niharika Lal, Coordinator, NAAC Committee, Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, to propose vote of thanks. Dr. Niharika Lal.
Good afternoon, everyone. No program is incomplete without expressing our sense of gratitude to the person who has given us his valuable time and who has tried to enlighten us on such a very important topic. It has been a privilege to hear you, sir, today. Your talk was intense and intensive, tracing the genesis and objective of NAAC and focusing on the importance of IQAC and its role, the role of the coordinator, and how IQAC should work towards raising the standards of the institution. You rightly said that to gain excellence, one has to unite personal advancement with social responsibility. We should be in touch with all that is happening around us, keeping ourselves up to date. We should not become complacent in our pursuit of knowledge, and it is the duty of the teachers to develop techniques that caters to the changing needs of the primary and most important stakeholders of any educational institution, that is to say the students. You also stressed on the importance of digital libraries, e-contents, etc. in the contemporary era, and how information should be easily accessible to all, as well as how the SSR has to be filled up. On behalf of the principals and staff of BKM, as well as the participants, I would once again, sir, convey a deep sense of gratitude to you. I would like to thank our manager, Srimati Uma Bhattacharya, for her keen interest in the academic affairs of the college, which acts as a stimulus for us. I take the opportunity to thank our principal, Professor Rachna Srivastava, for her constant support and encouragement, which gives us the confidence to venture into new avenues and strive to give our best. I would like to thank all members of the audience for their interactive participation. Their presence and queries has made the lecture very fruitful. I thank Dr. Niranjana Srivastava for conducting the question answer session so efficiently. Last and not the least, I thank Sri Chandrakant Chatterjee, our technical assistant, in seeing that the session is conducted without any hassles. Thank you, all of you, once again.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaste, sir.
नमस्कार
नमस्कार सभी
Namaskar, sir. I request all the participants to kindly join at 2 tomorrow.
Sure, thank you ma'am.
Hello.